Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and the Beard, man. First stream at the new spot. Still a little bit of a work in progress here, man, but we're going to get to it. It's been definitely a, man, shout out to the Beard for getting everything set up today, man. Y'all know we got the Thursday night football game. The Bucs are headed to Buffalo to take on the Bills. We got the Battle of New York. The New York Jets are taking on the New York Giants in Jersey. It's all a little funny. Y'all know how that goes down. The Eagles are headed here to FedEx Field to take on the Commanders, and you got the Rams headed to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys coming off that bye week. We'll see how they fare. They looked pretty good coming out of the before the bye week in Week 6, so we'll see how the Dallas Cowboys fare. Shout out to all the Dallas Cowboys fans who've been still rocking out with us, even though y'all was on a bye, still getting that New York Giants content, still getting that Washington Commanders content. And speaking of the Washington Commanders, man, I'm about to bring in the strong side to the left side duo. We got to get right to it, the Beard. Let's do this, man. How you living, brother?
I am living. I am, working hard here, getting ready for a roadmap of hopefully potential upset victory for the Washington Commanders. A little bit of a revenge after that overtime loss in Week 4 to the Philadelphia Eagles. But listen, it's Thursday. That means we got football. We got football on Sundays, Saturdays, Fridays, Mondays, Thursdays. It's a great time for sports. We got hockey's back, baseball playoffs, basketball's here. It's a great time, man. Great time to be alive. I don't watch no
hockey. That's definitely not the vibes over here. You ain't gonna catch me on no ice for damn sure. But I'm definitely excited about some Thursday night football tonight. I'm gonna be headed back to the old crib, and at least I can watch something on my drive. Definitely been a day for the record books for sure, man. You ready to get right into it? What you thinking here, man? We got about a good hour.
I think we should just get right into it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love and all the support. We appreciate the patience. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and, of course, right here on the YouTubes. We're going to talk some football.
Y'all can blame me for the CPT today. You know, a little five minute late. You know what I'm saying? Beard looks confused. I'm talking about color people time here. Not these people either. I'm talking about color people. All right, let's get right to it, man. We're going to do this Cowboys game first, man, and then we'll keep it pushing here. We're going to talk about the Rams headed to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys. All right, man. So I'm actually looking forward to see the Cowboys get back. I don't know about back on track, but at least back on the field here. You know, they kind of been a little up and down this year. They got that ugly loss to the Arizona Cardinals early, but they did bounce back in Week 6 in a major way. This one is going to be 3-3 Rams. Surprising 3-3. A lot of people thought the Rams were going to be probably the worst team in football. They look pretty good. They got your boy Tutu Atwell, Puka, then they got Cooper back, and everything looks like how when they were making a run for the Super Bowl. It's not too bad here with Matthew Stafford at the helm. Cowboys are 4-2. Last meeting, the Cowboys beat the Rams 22-10. That was just last year. Last week, the Cowboys were on a bye. The Rams lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, surprisingly, 24-17. Dallas has won their past 10 games at home. It is the longest active streak in the NFL right now. Tony Pollard coming off a pretty decent game before the bye. He had 6 catches for 110 scrimmage yards before that bye. His third game with the 100-plus scrimmage yards of the year. They've been definitely hammering the rock. His yards per carry has dropped and dipped a little bit. He has 261 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns in 3 career games versus the Los Angeles Rams. And CeeDee Lamb coming off a pretty decent game too. 7 receptions for 117 in Week 6. That's his 12th career game with 100 yards, second of the season, just his second of the season, so he's got to ramp it up. And we got to see Brandon Cooks get in the end zone. You released Brandon Cooks off your fantasy team. You're still sitting winless. Shots fired at your boy. I scooped up Brandon Cooks. I'm just waiting for him to have a really big game so I can put him in, enter him in the lineup and whatnot. Micah Parsons had his 5th sack of the season in Week 6. He aims for his 3rd in a row at home with a tackle for loss. Kind of funny here. Kayvon Thibodeau has more sacks on the year than your boy Micah Parsons. People, you heard Chase the radio on WFAN. Right? I don't know about your boy Chase Young. I only know about my boys. I don't know about your boys here, okay? But my New York Giants fam definitely has more sacks than the Cowboys' Micah Parsons does. Micah Parsons had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in his last meeting versus the Rams. Stephon Gilmore had his 2nd interception of the season in Week 6. So the Dallas Cowboys are really getting back on track here, man. I think they had a pretty decent showing before the bye here, but they are going up against the Los Angeles Rams who, they got a couple little records here on the line. I want to go over this one with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford has 53,990 passing yards in 198 starts. He can become the 3rd quarterback ever with 54,000 passing yards in his first 200 starts. I'll give you one name, see if you can maybe get the second name. One of them is Drew Brees. Who do you think the second guy is that had 54,000 yards in his first 200 starts?
I got 3 guys on my mind, okay? Dan Marino, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. I'm going to go with Dan Marino.
Strike 3 on all 3 names.
Really?
It's your boy, Matty Ice. Matt
Ryan?
Matt Ryan. Yes, Matt Ryan.
Get out of Dodge.
Kind of crazy, man. We were talking about running back Royce Freeman last week, who they scooped up. He had a season high. I mean, obviously it was a season high. 66 rushing yards last week. Cooper Kupp has had at least 90 receiving yards in 11 of his past 12 road games. He has 6 or more catches in 15 of his past 16 road games. Puka's setting some records here, too. He had 8 catches for 154 yards last week and became the 4th player ever with 150 or more receiving yards in 2 of his first 7 career games. He leads the NFL right now with 58 receptions. It's the most by a player in his first 7 games ever.
And he's
Puka
undrafted.
Undrafted free agent, man. So you got to send some kudos to the man, Sean McVay, definitely pulling some strings over there. And then Tutu Atwell had a career high last week. I thought this was kind of crazy, too. He got in the end zone 3 times, man. So salute to Tutu Atwell. I think it's going to be a very difficult task for this Dallas Cowboys defense, you know, lacking their number 1 corner. He's been knocked out for most of the year here. That's been probably their Achilles entire year. And waiting for Dak Prescott to good games. He did put together a good game before the bye. What's your thoughts on this game? Do you think you got any flowers anywhere in the back of the pickup truck for the Dallas Cowboys on this?
Yeah, listen, I do have some flowers for the Dallas Cowboys. They're rested. They needed a little bit of rest with that offensive line. The offensive line was banged up for the Dallas Cowboys. So I do think Dallas, you know, can get this done. Obviously, now the Rams started off really well. Their offense is kind of like died down a little bit with the injury of Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, I talk about this, I feel like, every time we talk about the Rams, and it's not just because he played for Notre Dame, but, I mean, he had 97 carries.
A lot of it is, though.
He had 97 carries for 456 yards and 6 touchdowns. You know, like, he was playing very good football. But, you know, they're going to have to find a way to run the ball against Dallas because you got to have to try and catch that defense a little bit off balance, okay? And I think they do that by running the ball. I think not only Royce Freeman, but I think Darrell Henderson looked pretty good last week, you know, coming back and playing for the Rams. He's familiar with the offense, obviously. He got in the end zone, I believe, as well in that game. And so the Rams wide receivers against Dallas's defense is going to be very interesting because you mentioned all of those names, Cooper Kupp, to see.
I'm trying to get there. We got the new internet package over here today, so we're running through some some troubleshooting here. It seems like that's on my end.
Was it on your end? I think that was on my end, I believe.
I think I'm seeing the Wi-Fi signal up here. And
I'm seeing it on mine as well. But we're back. So
let's just blame StreamYard then.
Yeah, we're going to blame StreamYard because there's no way both of our internets go out at the same time in 2 different states, basically. So we are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys getting pressure on Matthew Stafford. That's going to be very important for them, okay? Under pressure this season, Matthew Stafford has a passer rating of 82.3. He's only completing 59% of his passes. He's thrown 6 interceptions under pressure as well. Dallas is 17th in the National Football League with 16 sacks. The Rams have allowed the 12th most sacks in the National Football League. Only 18. It sounds so low compared to Washington's 40, right?
For sure.
But Dallas does have the number 1 pressure rate in the National Football League. So it's going to be important for Dallas to get some pressure on Matthew Stafford. Don't let them get in rhythm because that offense is so rhythm-based, you know, especially with guys like Puka and Cooper Kupp. So for me, that's how Dallas wins this game. I do think that they can do all of these things, and I expect them to do all of these things. I think this game will be pretty close, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think they're favored by 7 points, I believe, 7 or 6.5, something around there. And I think that's where it's going to end up. I'm going to take Dallas to win this game by a final score of 24-17.
I like your score, and I'm very surprised that you're picking Dallas. I really am. You know, I thought that you might have thought that the Rams were a good matchup for the Dallas Cowboys, could probably take them out here. I really want to go against your pick a little bit. If you've noticed, I've been picking the Dallas Cowboys like every week to win their games.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of crazy.
They're a good team. Do I want to pick the Dallas Cowboys here? I'm going to go Rams. I'm going to go Rams in a close one. Give me the Rams. Gregory just pulled up and said, "What up, Awthentik in the beard?" I'm sorry you had to pull up right here while I'm picking the Rams to beat your Cowboys, Gregory. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams in a close one because I have not seen Dak Prescott play that top-tier ball all year long, I feel like. Mistake-free, really stretching the field. Where are all those 300-yard games that we saw from Dak Prescott a couple of years ago? And I don't know if this is because Mike McCarthy's calling the plays or what. I just think that the Rams offense is going to apply pressure. You talked about the wide receiver core matchup. I think that's going to be a danger zone for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. I'm going to go 27-23 Los Angeles Rams.
Would you look at that? Who'd have thunk the day where the beard picked the Cowboys and Awthentik picked not the Cowboys?
It's kind of that is kind of interesting. All right, well, let's get right into it, man. I've been waiting to talk about this game pretty much all week, man. Even when we were doing our recap from Week 7, I was ready to talk about this matchup right off the bat. The Jets are going to be traveling to their own home stadium to play the New York Giants at home. This should be a really good one.
Giants are on the board with 11:16 to go here in the third.
All right, man. I'm letting you know. I just actually had some McDonald's. You know, I got the cup right here. I got the
Have you tried
Coke with no ice.
the mambo sauce yet?
I dipped some fries in it. I was like, that's not mambo sauce.
It's
but
not
shout out to my
close.
homie Sean Cooper, man. He just did a campaign for McDonald's for the mambo sauce. Got to shoot a bunch of celebs and all that, man. Real dope for the homie Sean Cooper there one time. But let's talk about this game, man. This matchup is I'm really looking forward to this because these teams are pretty evenly matched up, I'd say here. You know, I think the New York Giants should have beat the Buffalo Bills, and they should be sitting right now at 3-4. Instead, we're sitting at 2-5. The Jets are sitting at 3-3 right now. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. The Jets are favored by 3 from the opening line from what I saw. Last week, the Giants beat the Commanders 14-7, and the Jets were on a bye, I believe. Last year, the Jets lost 7 of their final 8 games after the bye, including their last 6 straight games. So I'm hoping that history can repeat itself here coming out the bye for the Jets, and my New York Giants can find a way to get the victory. The last meeting between these two teams, the Jets did beat the New York Giants 34-24. That was in 2019. This will be the 15th meeting between these two teams here since the merger. The Jets have won the past 2 by a combined just 10 points, including one of those games that went into overtime. The Jets have trailed at halftime in all 6 of their games this season. It's just an amazing thing that you've trailed that much and still you're sitting at a 500 record here. The only other team, according to ESPN, to ever do that is the 2022 Colts. They're the only other team to trail at halftime in each of their first 6 games and still have a record of at least 500 on the year. So the Jets are definitely treading some crazy waters here. Now, I'm going to get right to this. I want to talk about a bunch of keys to victory for the Giants, and then I'm going to pass this off to you. I'm going to need about a good, it's 7:20. I'm going to need a 10-minute bag right here, okay?
Okay.
All right, just a good 8 to 10-minute bag. I'm going to try
here
to fly
for
through it. We're going to see. Right off the bat, y'all know how the beard does. Most of the roadmaps start off with RTDB. My roadmap here and my keys to victory are going to start off with RTDB. Saquon needs a big game, and that's to spark the entire offense and open up things for Darren Waller. The Giants right now have the 21st ranked rushing offense. The Jets have the 26th ranked rushing defense. So I like that matchup for us. I feel like the Giants have underachieved in the running game and the running attack with Saquon Barkley sidelined, and obviously our other running backs really not helping the cause there that much. Saquon has averaged 85 yards rushing in his 2 games back, and yeah, the yards are like kind of decent, but the yards per carry is not. 3.8 yards per carry in those games and 0 rushing touchdowns. You know, I think Saquon was headed to his way into the end zone last week, and then you had that costly fumble. He did have a receiving touchdown last week. Waller's coming off a season-high 7 receptions, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown last week versus the Beards Commanders. And we're going to need a repeat performance or even better than that. I want to see Darren Waller get to that 100-yard mark, and I want to see a couple more receptions in this one and possibly maybe a couple of touchdowns. I had a hot take at the beginning of the year where I said that Daniel Bellinger was going to have more touchdowns than Darren Waller on the year. And when you looked at the New York Giants offense and the way they attacked last year, that kind of made sense at the time. But right now, Daniel Bellinger has been a non-factor for the New York Giants. I feel like his snap count has not even been that high on the year. So I'm looking for Saquon to be able to open up some running lanes and also open up this passing attack. And Darius Slayton's been a little quiet, and if it's not going to be the other guy I'm going to talk about, it's got to be Darius Slayton. He had a career-high 10 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns in the previous meeting versus the Jets. So I know that this dude can get busy versus this Jets defense. It's all about if he's going to show up in his game and if he's going to have the opportunity and be able to get the targets to do so. Now, this defense needs to build off the previous momentum from the previous couple of weeks here. You're looking at the turnovers from the Miami game, the great performance against the Buffalo Bills, and then last week, virtually a shutout performance against the Washington Commanders. Bobby Okereke has double-digit tackles in all of the past 4 games right now. Bobby O is one of 3 players with 5 tackles for loss and at least 5 pass breakups on the year. The only other players we're going up against, one of them is Quincy Williams for the Jets and T.J. Watt for the Steelers. They're the only other guys in the league right now that have done that. Good company. Now, Kayvon is 9th in the NFL right now in sacks with 5.5. He's been getting after the quarterback. He had 8 pressures last week against the Commanders. So it's good to see Kayvon's numbers, skyrocketing and getting into that direction of what we saw last year when Kayvon was closing out games, fortunately for the New York Giants, not for the Beard. One of those games was against the Commanders as well when he got the strip sack against Taylor Heineke early on. I thought that was the difference maker.
That was a
very nasty play. And, you look at the Colts game where he's, doing snow angels, the Ravens game where he forced a fumble, scooped the fumble. Kayvon Thibodeau's starting to look like he's getting back to that trajectory. And I'm sure y'all all saw the clips on WFAN with Carl Banks and whatnot getting, hella disrespect. And I think Carl Banks was keeping it real, and Carl Banks' assessment is probably more accurate than the 2 dudes that were on WFAN that'll remain a little nameless on this show. Now, Dexter Lawrence had 2 sacks and 4 quarterback hits last week against the Commanders. We know what we're going to get out of Dexter. They're probably going to try to double team him a lot, which I think will open up some other lanes for some of the other pass rushers on this defense as well. The Jets on 3rd down. I know the Beard loves to talk about 3rd down. The Jets on 3rd down this year have only converted on 25%. It ranks dead last in the NFL right now. So I'm looking for this defense to get after this kid, and I'm going to get to some couple other points about that as well, but I want to talk about some offensive things here as well. And we know how the Giants held the Commanders. You see I'm taking these
yeah, I'm just taking them. I need to do my best Keanu Reeves here.
Facts, because the Washington Commanders were 1 of 15 on 3rd down last week, so that's a great feat for this New York Giants defense. Now, the third key to victory for me here is going to be Tyrod Taylor. He's going to need another clean game. Another 2 touchdowns, 0 interception performance is exactly what I'm looking at. Now, the New York Giants have thrown 6 interceptions and have lost 4 fumbles on the year, none of them by Tyrod yet, I'll say. And the Jets have 13 takeaways on the year. That's 3rd most in the NFL. What's interesting, and I think a lot of people aren't talking about when they're dealing with the controversy between Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones, is Tyrod Taylor's been playing much cleaner football. Daniel Jones with the 6 interceptions on the year. Granted, a lot of those interceptions weren't all his fault. Obviously, 2 tip passes off of Saquon, a couple others that didn't seem to be his fault. But to have 6 interceptions and a couple of fumbles on the year when Tyrod Taylor in 2 games has been pretty clean, that's exactly what we're going to need against the Jets. The Jets defense ranks 4th in the NFL in red zone efficiency. And I tweeted this out earlier because I wanted this to be a talking point. The Giants have absolutely got to be better in the red zone with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. That's one thing that Daniel Jones did extremely well last year, and we need to see Tyrod ramp it up. We were 0 for 5 against the Buffalo Bills, 1 for 2 against the Commanders. That's 2 games where Tyrod Taylor and this offense are 1 for 7 in the red zone. And now you're going up against the 4th best red zone defense in the league. We're going to have to find a way to get creative. I am placing some emphasis on Brian Dable when I say this as well, but also I think the majority of the emphasis goes on the quarterback. We can't have those kind of errors that we had at the end of the first half against the Buffalo Bills. I'm looking forward to a lot of wide receiver and cornerback matchups in this game. The 2 most important ones for me are going to be Jalen Hyatt versus Sauce Gardner and Deontay Banks going up against Garrett Wilson. We saw Deontay Banks go up against Terry McLaurin this past week, where he pretty much traveled and followed Terry McLaurin around the field. And Terry McLaurin did have a good game. I think he had 90 yards, a season high for him. But considering Deontay Banks is a rookie, I think he held his own in that game. Deontay Banks this season is allowing 48.3% completion percentage when he's covering wide receivers. He's only allowing 4.5 yards per target and a passer rating of 69.8. He had the interception, beautiful interception last week, and he had a career-high 7 tackles last week as well. I'd like to see him going up against Garrett Wilson because I want to see Wink Martindale stick to his identity, and I'd like to see Deontay Banks on an island with Garrett Wilson. I think he's capable of handling that business. Garrett Wilson right now has 8 or more receptions in 2 of his last 3 games. And on the year, he's got 32 receptions, 369 yards, just 2 touchdowns, and a long of 68 yards. You got to find a way to limit the big play from Garrett Wilson. I think that's most important. We can take all that stuff underneath. I'm cool with that. Don't allow the big play. Don't allow the fade route for the touchdown like the one we saw in the preseason from Aaron Rodgers. He had his biggest game before the bye versus the Eagles, 8 receptions for 90 yards. Now, speaking of our wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt coming into this game, he had 2 big plays last week against the Commanders. He has 9 receptions for 195 yards on the season. Like, Carl Banks was talking about this on the Believe podcast, Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend. When you got a guy like Jalen Hyatt out there making plays like this, you got to find a way to design plays for him. Make sure he's getting the ball at all costs. And I think Brian Daboll is starting to realize that we can't be waiting too long for these rookies to develop when they have this kind of skill set like a guy like Jalen Hyatt does. Jalen Hyatt, of the 14 targets, 9 of them are with Tyrod Taylor in just 2 games. So it also tells me a little bit about Daniel Jones, but also it is Brian Daboll because the snap count was very low for Jalen Hyatt, entering those couple of games with Tyrod Taylor. Hyatt is averaging 21.7 yards per reception. In the preseason, he was matched up against Sauce Gardner. A couple of viral clips went to Twitter and whatnot. Sauce did look like he got cooked on one of those, came back, kind of pulled Jalen Hyatt and ended up making a play on the ball. And what a lot of people were saying at the time was if that was Daniel Jones, that pass would have been completed. It's interesting because I talked about the hole shots all offseason, and that was one of Daniel Jones' most fearful type of throws that he didn't like to make. And it's interesting now that you see Tyrod Taylor actually in the lineup. He's the guy that's taking the deep shots. No fear. Actually trying to push the ball down the field. So I love to see it. Is this the week maybe that Jalen Hyatt gets his first touchdown? What you think about that, Beard?
Looking at my score, no.
Oh, that's not the answer I was looking for.
I know. But
now, I also think Brian Daboll needs to show that he is the better coach in this game. He is the best coach in New York. And I am including the Buffalo Bills as well. That's what we need to do. We need to show that it's not that hot. He was coach of the year last year. Them other 2 Goonies weren't. So, is what it is. I think Brian Daboll has regressed a little bit this year, considering the record and the way we've seen this team kind of struggle offensively. But he needs to go out here and prove that he is the better coach, not only in this game, but the best coach in New York. You got to find a way to stop the run. Breece Hall coming into this game, 426 yards on 66 carries. He leads the NFL right now in yards per carry, 6.5 yards per carry for Breece Hall right now. Giants have the 27th ranked rush defense, and the Jets have the 12th ranked rush offense. Of all the rankings, that was the most lopsided one that gave me a little bit of room to be worried. I just think that the New York Giants have had an issue stopping the run dating all the way back to last year. The last couple of weeks, we've been a bit better, but we got to find a way to make sure that it starts by stopping Breece Hall. And then you got to get some pressure on this quarterback. And I talked about this a little earlier. Wink needs to stick to his identity. Blitz the shit out of this kid. Treat him exactly how you treated Sam Howell last week and just send the whole kitchen sink at this guy, okay? In the past 3 games, Zach Wilson has actually been playing some pretty decent football. He's 66 of 98, 67% completion percentage, 630 yards, 2 touchdowns, just 1 interception. On the year, he's got 1,097 yards, 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He has over a 70% completion percentage in 2 out of his 3 last games. So that tells me that Saleh's over there trying to simplify the game plan for him a little bit. I wouldn't look for the big plays in this game. You got to find a way to keep everything up front. And I think that with Zach Wilson, just send the kitchen sink at him. Send everything you can at him. Make him prove that he can make these plays and then try to adjust, make the second half adjustments if we're starting to, fall behind on the scoreboard early in the first half. He has just 1 interception in his last 4 games. Zach Wilson has no interceptions in 3 of his past 4 games. So go get some. That's how I'm looking at this. Go find a way. Let this defense go out there and ball out and try to find a way to force this kid to turn the ball over. He's already shown you that he is not even an average quarterback in the NFL, but he has been playing average ball the last couple of weeks. We got to find a way to apply this pressure. And lastly, and this is something I don't ever focus on when I'm talking about keys to victory and game plans for the New York Giants. I appreciate your patience, DeBeard, on this too, because I had to give you a good 10 minutes. I'm right at the 10-minute mark right now.
It felt like 3.
It felt like 3. I try to, keep it rapid fire for you, right? We have got to be better on special teams across the board. Muffed punt.
Who's returning punts?
They signed some kid just recently who they said he had some drop issues.
That's right.
So I'm not too sure who's going to be returning punts. If it's not that kid, if he didn't get elevated from the practice squad or whatever it may be, I don't mind Darius Slayton being back there because at least I know that he's going to let the ball go over his head if he can't catch it. You had the Sterling Shepard muff punt last week. You've had missed field goals all year long. You had the blocked field goal versus Dallas returned for 6. Graham Gano right now is 10 of 14 on the season. That's a 71.4 rate. That ranks 30th out of 32 qualified kickers. That's not the Graham Gano that New York Giants fans have come to know. 3 of those misses that Graham Gano has had on the season were under 50 yards. He's usually automatic from under 50 yards. We did get a blocked field goal last week with Leonard Williams. That was a good play, special teams-wise. And Jamie Gillen, the Scottish Hammer, he's been balling out too. 45-yard net average is 3rd in the NFL right now. He leads the NFL with 14 forced fair catches. But the main guy that I want to keep my eyes on when it comes to special teams is the undrafted free agent, Xavier Gipson. Now, he had that walk-off punt return touchdown in week 1 against Buffalo. He's kind of been quiet ever since then. That was a 65-yard walk-off. He's averaged just 8 yards per return on the 9 other attempts that he's had this season outside of that 65-yard walk-off. He has 6 kick returns where he's only averaging 23.8 yards per return. Don't let this be a breakout game for Xavier Gipson. We know he has the speed. We know he has the capability to be able to take one to the house either on the punt return or on the kick return. That's got to be a point of emphasis. Last week, a lot of people was calling for our special teams coach job. I came up here and I vouched for him, and I said that he's not the person out there picking the personnel that the New York Giants are running with. He's just out there trying to coach them up. Some of that falls on him, but not all that falls on him. So for me, those are all the keys I think that the New York Giants are going to need to be able to, play janitor in this game and walk away with a must-needed victory right here going up against the Jets, who are also in a must-win situation.
I love that janitor line, by the way. So I will tell you, one of my favorite New York Giants. So, right now, I love me some Wan'Dale Robinson. Really, really love me some Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's proving to be even more than what I think some people expected out of him. Like, he's a possession receiver. He can, he has speed. He's shifty. There's a lot of things that he can do. I think that he has been the biggest surprise for me for the Giants offense this year. And it's obviously been a struggle for most of the season, but I'm starting to see more and more from him week in and week out. So he's a guy I kind of got my eye on for the New York Football Giants offensively. Now, for me, this is like a beard game, okay? This is going to be trenches, defense, running the ball, boom, bop, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. This is what I like. This is like Mike Allstott sound effects game. Okay,
I like it.
This is what I like. Now, a lot of people talk about the New York Jets defense. Okay, and I was reading today about how the New York Jets defense. Yeah, the Giants defense has been pretty good the last couple of weeks, but the New York Jets do everything the Giants do better. That was the quote. And I said, I don't know about that, because I've looked up some Jets stats for the parlay, and it just got me to thinking, okay, the Jets have 13 sacks on the season. That's it, okay? How many sacks do the Giants have? 11 sacks. Okay, they got 2.
We just got 6 last week against y'all, though, so entering that game, we only had 5.
Yeah,
4 of them was
the Jets
Thibodeau.
had a game like that, too, against Buffalo, and that was the first game of the season. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Passing yards allowed. New York Giants allow fewer passing yards than the New York Jets do, which is kind of crazy. I mean, the New York Giants allowed 214.1 passing yards per game. The Jets allowed 216.7 passing yards per game, okay? The Jets do allow fewer rushing yards, but only by 2. The Jets are allowing 135.2 yards on the ground per game. The Giants are just giving up 137.3. So this is where I think it's still a lot, yeah, but this is why I said that this is going to come down to whoever can run the ball the best.
Totally.
Okay, and you talked about that. It's one of the things I wanted to double down on. I want to double down also on the turnovers. I think whoever wins a turnover battle, whoever can run the ball better, will win this game. That's the one big difference statistically between these two teams. The New York Jets have a turnover differential of +5. New York Giants, -4. So that's a 9 turnover difference swing right there. Okay, so the Giants really have to find a way to take care of the ball, and they have to find a way to force turnovers. That's going to be huge. Because you think you're like Zach Wilson, and you talked about the Jets and their turnovers forced. So that's why they kind of can still have that sort of differential, even with Zach Wilson at quarterback, because of what they're doing defensively. That's the big thing. So you cannot let the Jets force turnovers if you're the New York Giants. Now, you talked about Brees Hall. You talked about the Jets rushing attack. That's another one of the kind of the big difference. There's a 9-slot gap between these two teams where the Jets are averaging 117.5 yards per game on the ground, where the Giants are 21st, only getting 99.9, the Heineke special per game on the ground. So for me, the Giants have to find a way to run the rock, stop the run, win the turnover battle, and I think they can win this game. So I am going to take the New York Giants to win a ugly game. Maybe not ugly. Look, let me rephrase that, because I don't think it's going to be ugly. It's ugly in the modern standard minds of they want to see.
It's going to be old school.
It's going to be old school. There we go. Good job. New York Giants 16, New York Jets 10.
That's a low-scoring ass game.
I mean, the over-under in this game is 36.5 points.
Michael Knight said 14-10. Gregory's taking the Jets. Shout out Sean Jackson in the building. He said, what up, Awthentik and the Beard Awthentik? Will Leo be the unsung hero for our Giants this coming Sunday? Remember, Leo was originally drafted by the Jets. I normally talk about revenge games, too. I'm glad you brought that up. So he should be on the hunt this Sunday. That's a fact. Yeah, and Leonard Williams played some good football last week, man. He was getting after the quarterback, got the blocked field goal. A lot of people been talking about Leonard Williams being a guy that they want to trade away before the deadline, and I'm just a little bit skeptical about it. I know the contract is a little crazy, but if they could find a way to restructure, Leonard Williams has expressed, that he wants to stay a New York Giant. He loves playing next to Dexter Lawrence. I definitely can understand that, because Dexter Lawrence is definitely a guy. I think he could be the unsung guy in this game. I do think whoever it's going to be is going to be somebody on the defense. That defense got to come out here and show up in a major way. They got to build off that momentum that they had last week, the week before that. And the New York Giants, when they're playing the way that they played last week, they look like a better defense in the league. And, from some of the articles that I was reading today about this matchup, people were saying the New York Giants are one of the better defenses right now. I thought they kind of jumped the gun a little bit, right? Because we started off pretty terrible to begin the year. But when you look at the opposition that we have faced this year, man, it's some good teams, man. Dallas,
exactly.
San Fran, Miami, Buffalo, Seattle. These are all top offenses going around the league. And when you talked about some of the passing statistics, I also thought about that as well. It's like the New York Giants have been playing from behind for the most part throughout the year. So those passing numbers should be a little bit, I won't say inflated, but a little bit higher than they probably would be if we were in some close games. Last week was the first time we really had a lead, that we could play with a 2-score lead and be able to try to control the clock, run the ball more in the second half, where the Jets are kind of somewhere in the middle of that. They've had games where they go out there and they don't have to actually pass the ball too much in the second half. But with Zach Wilson, it seems like they're kind of taming the game plan anyway. They don't want to try to put too much on the kid's plate. So I think this game is going to be a really defining game for both teams here. You're really going to find out who the Jets are in this game. If they cannot go out here and I won't say dominate, right? But if they can't just control this game, what kind of caliber team they are. And we know that the quarterback's going to hold them back a little bit, but I'm not one that's going to just be sleeping on Zach Wilson. He does have the arm talent to be able to make the plays, so he can go out there and really put up some points against the New York Giants. But this is a gauge test right here for the Jets, and I think this is the game that lets you know if the New York Giants are going to be about their business and maybe have a shot at making a run here. At the beginning of the year when we picked the schedules and we picked the games, I thought that this game was going to be another revenge game. Yeah, and they released him before he could even play. He was released a couple days right at the end of August. I believe he was released on August 30th, and then on the 31st, the Giants picked him up. Undrafted free agent. He was signed by the Jets. NFL dreams come true, and then they're just like, sorry, bud. See you later. Good thing the New York Giants picked him up. What is the saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's how I make my living.
Yeah, and Jason Pinnock is definitely doing that. So this should be a good matchup. Like I was saying about the schedule and whatnot, I picked us to lose this game early on when we did the predictions because I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be the quarterback over there. But with Zach Wilson, I think a lot changes. So this is one of those games where, I can pick the New York Giants. There's not going to be many games like that on the schedule. I'm taking the New York Giants in this game. Not as low scoring as my buddy Michael Knight and my bro, The Beard.
Well, Kai 001 had it 6-3 Jets.
That's crazy. Come on. Watch it be something like that, though. Kai, if it's 6-3, we got something for you, bro. I'm going to go I think this New York Giants offense is going to build upon what they did last week. Should have been a 31-0 blowout last week, and it just wasn't. I'm going to go 21-18 New York Giants.
21 points.
21.
That'd be a season high for you guys. Oh, no, Arizona.
Oh, yeah, Arizona, yep.
Yeah,
I mean, Tyrod's got this offense moving well, man. And I just think the more he gets reps, the better he's going to look in this offense. The real question here, though, is which Jets defense is going to show up. You do got Sauce Gardner coming off the concussion and whatnot, so I'm hoping he's a little woozy, a little slow to get started. Maybe we catch him slipping on the first drive and get Jalen Hyatt in the end zone.
That'll be nice.
That would definitely be nice, man. All right, you ready to go over your game, get to this roadmap and all that?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So we got the Eagles headed down 95, man, to take on the Commanders. The Eagles are sitting at 6-1, man. Good Lord. Commanders are 3-4 here. A lot of people in the Washington, D.C. area have pretty much given up all hope. I don't know why sitting at 3-4 people act like they're a winless ball club. I mean, they're not the Beards fantasy team or anything like that. You know, we got 3 victories.
Man, what is going on today? All the shots.
Oh, you know, this ain't just today. This is a
lifetime,
yearly thing.
A lifetime of shots.
It really is. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. The Eagles were favored by 6.5 on the opening line here. Last week, the Commanders lost to my New York Giants. The Eagles beat the Miami Dolphins. That game wasn't as close as a lot of people thought it was, including myself. 31-17, they beat the Dolphins. The last meeting, the Eagles barely beat the Commanders 34-31. Philadelphia is 23-2 in the past 25 regular season starts by Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia has the second most sacks in the NFL, and Sam Howell is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. This is not looking good for Sam Howell and the Commanders. Commanders are coming off of a game where they passed it 52 whole damn times against the New York Giants. Terry McLaurin was only targeted 1 time in the first half, but he did end the day with 6 receptions and 90 yards. Washington has given up 40 this season, including 6 to the Giants. A.J. Brown coming off 10 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown against Miami. I told you, this man's on a mission. That visor, he's on his Terminator 2 vibes one time. And Jalen Hurts in his career, 4-2 against the Washington Commanders. Definitely got that one loss to y'all last year. I can't call it fluke, but if Quez Watkins just holds on to the ball, I think the Philadelphia Eagles probably go on to win that game. Beard, we going right to the roadmap? What we doing here?
No, I kind of want to touch on some things here because I feel, you know, I had to put on a bulletproof vest for this show, apparently, okay? All of these shots.
Yes.
Oh, listen, I just want to touch on a few things before we get into the roadmap, okay? First things first, Washington, you have to be better. Just be better. Just be better. Okay. We talked about this a little bit last week where Ron Rivera put up the signs in the locker room that says, do your job, right? Apparently, a lot of people called out sick because there wasn't a lot of people doing their job against the New York Football Giants. Okay. There are some rumors, speculations, and obviously some hardcore evidence that there will be a shakeup on the offensive line this week. Possibly Nick Gates, Sadiq Charles is hurt. Wiley's been playing bad. Leno's been playing pretty bad. So there's going to be a shakeup, I believe, on the offensive line.
Y'all got that rookie I heard was going to get thrown into the mix this week. Yeah.
So there's going to be some interesting setup as far as offensive line goes. I don't think anybody really necessarily knows the exact lineup as of now. There have been some video clips and some pictures that have been coming out via the media during today and a couple of previous practice sessions as well. We definitely did see not Nick Gates snapping to Sam Howell today in a video, so it should be interesting to see how this plays out. Do they move Nick Gates to guard? Does he go to the bench? We don't really know yet. I think everybody kind of loves Nick Gates, the person, and Nick Gates, the teammate, but he just has not been performing very well this year. Okay, so the other thing is the running backs have to be here, and we're going to talk about it on the roadmap, but I need the running backs to be here. In the first matchup in Week 4 against the Philadelphia Eagles, Washington outrushed Philadelphia. It sounds crazy right now. They outrushed Philadelphia 107-104. They ran the ball 28 times in that game. You know, we need to find that balance. It's very critical to this offense and putting up points. Obviously, also in that Week 4 game, 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers can go a long way, especially when you're playing a team that's better than you across the board. And let's not try and make things what they aren't. The Philadelphia Eagles are light years ahead of the Washington Commanders right now. But there's one thing is that the Commanders play Philadelphia Eagles well. They've only been blown out, I want to say, one time in the last 5 years, maybe to the Eagles. It's been pretty competitive amongst.
I like those standards. I do.
Yeah, it's been pretty competitive amongst the Commanders and the Eagles. Now, we talked about sacks. You talked about the sacks. Everybody talks about the sacks. There's a lot of sack talk, okay? But listen, the Commanders are getting to the quarterback too. Don't get it twisted. Philadelphia Eagles, right? They're third in the National Football League with those 24 sacks, but right behind them at number 4, Washington Commanders, 23 sacks on the year. Okay? So, Chase Young's coming around. He's back. Back like cooked crack. Chase Young.
Oh, little Jules Santana.
Little dipset action. It's only fair if we have New York versus New York, right? I feel like we got to have a little bit of dipset, love there. Now, last but not least, before we get to this roadmap, Terry McLaurin. Okay, you talked about Scary Terry. He's kind of a eagle killer. He's a bird hunter. All right,
NFC East killer.
He is. Terry McLaurin, 9 games against Philadelphia Eagles, 53 catches, 784 yards, 4 touchdowns. Okay, he's had a 100-yard game. I want to say 4 out of the 9 games, I believe, if my photographic memory proves me correct.
How many 100-yard games this year?
0.
Yeah.
But we spread the ball around. We spread the ball around, We spread the ball around, okay? I mean, it's funny. You look at the bottom of the screen. What is Jalen Hurts? 21 yards, 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
I was looking for a dog emoji, but go ahead.
Here comes Sam Howell. He's got 17-49, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah, I'm going to take a page out of my New York Giants fans on Twitter. Where are the rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, Sam's got 1, maybe 2. Jalen Hurts probably has like 4 or 5. I'm not exactly
100.
sure with those. But listen, I wanted to kind of set the tone for the roadmap because sometimes, I don't want to just go into the roadmap and just sound like I sound crazy because I am crazy. We know that.
Yes.
If you are authentic in the beard, day one, if you're a fan, if you're part of the family, you understand, everybody's a little crazy, the beard a little bit more than most. But there is some logic behind some of my demands and some of my, hey, I'm going to need to stop here on the way, okay? We got to stop here to get there. That's part of what the roadmap is. So I just wanted to kind of lay the foundation. I wanted to, unfold the quad fold map on the hood
you
of
put
the
the
car.
map on the hood of the car.
Put the map on the hood of the car, okay? Just make sure we're all on the same page. So, yes, I think it's time for the roadmap now.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, you're getting on the freeway. What? No, turn right. Get out of the lane. No. Okay, get in position. Just get out the lane.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I'm going to be asking a lot. I'm going to be asking a lot from my team. I'm going to be asking a lot from my fans. I'm going to be asking a lot from everybody, okay? I got my hands out on this road trip, okay? Listen, I'm not driving. I ain't got no gas money. I'm going to need somebody to buy me some crunchy donuts and some Celsius at the gas station, too.
Those are your vibes, some crunch donuts, for sure.
Penalties killed us last week. They've killed us every week. Let's just be perfectly honest. I'm going to need the Washington Commanders to put their suspenders on, their belt buckles, tie the shoelaces, dot the I's, cross the T's. I need less than 5 penalties in this game. Absolutely less than 5 penalties in this game. Most people want 0 penalties, but I'm going to try and be realistic while I ask for everything and a bag of chips. I need less than 5 penalties in this game, okay? Sam Howell's been sacked more times than anybody of all time, of any time. I don't even, there's no need numbers anymore. We just know, okay? We know it's like 40 sacks. He's got getting 40. Sacked like an old English in a brown paper bag, okay?
He is a sack.
He is the sack. Okay, we're going to just call him Sack Hal, okay? But listen, I'm going to need less than 4 sacks. That's not that much to ask for, right? Less than 4? Against a team that's, top
good number.
3.
If you say 5, it's like, what are we doing here? So 4 is a good number.
Exactly. Less than 4, though. So I'm not even saying 4 or less. So basically 3 or less, okay? That's where I'm at with the sacks, all right? Now, we saw a little bit of Chris Rodriguez last week. I need to see more Chris Rodriguez. I need to see Antonio Gibson catching screen passes. I need to see Brian Robinson running the rock hard. I want all 3 running backs to have a combined total yardage of 160 yards. That's what I want to see out of my running back room.
Enemy is like, no, where's the pass plays?
We need. Listen, you can pass the ball to those guys. That's why I said total yardage. Where are the screens? You know they're going to be blitzing Sam Howell. This should be an opportunity for all 3 of these running backs to shine. Speaking of running backs, RT, D, D, B. Okay, run the damn darn ball.
Oh, I would have liked the RTGDB.
Okay, yeah, we can do that
Run
too.
The goddamn ball.
Yeah, we need that right there. We need that right there, okay? I'm not asking for my typical RTDB of 40, okay? Just give me damn 25, okay? We ran it for 28 week
for the
4.
whole team.
I need 25 rushing plays at least, okay? I'm trying to be.
Eric Bieniemy playing Madden right now, dog.
He is
like
not
Awthentik.
liking the beard right now. Okay, and listen, we got to repeat week 4. We need to win the rushing yard battle. Have more rushing yards than the Philadelphia Eagles. A couple more to win out the battles. We need to win the turnover battle. We need to be over 50% on third down. Definitely can't be 1 for 15 on third down.
Is
okay,
crazy.
And the hardest, most difficult road bump, speed bump, pothole on this roadmap to victory is going to be holding A.J. Brown under 100 yards receiving. He torched us week 4. That was he is the lone reason why Emmanuel Forbes got benched, who I saw this weekend. He's in good spirits. Just want to let everybody know.
Oh, you saw him this weekend?
I saw him this weekend.
Good stuff.
So shout out to Emmanuel Forbes. But yes, holding A.J. Brown under 100 yards. If we can do all those things, we can win this game. Does that mean I'm going to pick us to win this game?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't pick Washington to win games they're not supposed to win. That's not something that the beard does. Oh yeah, I picked us to lose. I picked us to lose to the Eagles week 4.
I mean, that doesn't say much. The Eagles are a much better team than the Commanders.
They are, but listen, I don't pick the Commanders to win games they're not supposed to win. Like, that's not my style. But I don't know if it's because I haven't had dinner tonight or if it's just a gut feeling.
I don't know how you do that.
I'm going to pick the Washington Commanders to win finally against the Philadelphia Eagles and against a good team, not a bad team. So... well, they lose to bad teams too, but I'm just going to pick the Commanders to win, damn it. Okay, I got a feeling. I got an inkling that this is going to be it. This is it. At home, 1 o'clock game. It just feels right. Feels right, Awthentik. I'm going to go Washington Commanders.
Commanders.
24.
Yo, Bad Dog, you just reminded me of Donald Trump. And Bad Dog was on the, what is it? He does an NFC East show with Louis T. and Laura Brunson and I forget the Cowboys content creator.
Law, my guy,
Law
Law
Nation.
right?
Yeah, they all really good too. Louis T's losing his mind though. His takes are all over the place.
He's long gone.
But Bad Dog does a like 9 out of 10 Donald Trump impersonation. Like, yo, it's so good. I didn't mean to interrupt you though. Tell me your score one more time.
24-20 Washington Commanders.
24-20 Washington Commanders. I think that like the odds are really stacked against y'all. And
not
only with the matchups, you know, like obviously you got A.J. Brown over there. Devonta Smith been kind of quiet the last couple of weeks too, you know, not really playing to that 1B wide receiver role that we saw last year. I think the reason why the odds are so stacked against y'all is because y'all have played them well the last 2 times.
Yeah.
Like, are we really going to get 3 games in a row that the Commanders play the hell out of the Philadelphia Eagles? I can't bank on it, man. I saw some people talking about this in the chat earlier. I think it's going to be a blowout, man. Like, just like the New York Giants could have blew y'all out last week. I don't know where the feelings are coming from, the gut feeling. You did say you didn't have dinner today. That's probably why.
I've not eaten for approximately 8 hours.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that before you do a podcast. You know, one of these days you're gonna be up here. You're gonna be.
Well, I mean, I'm doing that already today after all the shots fired.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles all day on this one, man. And listen, if the Eagles don't show up in this game the way I expect them to, I'm done giving them the grace of they gonna blow somebody out. I'm going 34 to 10 Philadelphia Eagles.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable, right? It's not 40. Might get to 40 though, man.
Definitely.
See, y'all got the home field advantage. You're not trying to go to this game?
No.
Absolutely not, huh?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. StreamYard's bugging on me.
I am just noticing that. I was looking at me like this is something is going on right now.
You getting lag off me too?
I'm just getting lag off of me.
Yeah, it's like 8 words behind. So, what do we do? All right, let's get off into this last matchup, man. Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Look at us doing some good time, even though we showed up late. Show up late, get out of here early. I like these vibes.
I'm gonna put you on full screen and just hope to refresh StreamYard.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'll do a little intro. We'll see you here in a second, man.
There we go.
Authentic and authentic solo here one time. All right, man, get out of here, man. Are you back? That was quick. It seems pretty
Am I back?
up, though.
Look,
You're back.
It is.
Look, good to go.
How did that happen?
StreamYard is on some serious stream. How the first day I get internet, StreamYard want to be acting up all weird. Like now I'm like my brain's all confused and whatnot. All right, let's get off into this last matchup. I thought, that was like when the center comes up to the line, right? And he do some checks. And then the quarterback comes up. Not sure if the center did the checks there. I tried to make a little audible there. I like that. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Josh Allen and the Bills here. 4-3 for the Bills, 3-3 for the Bucs one time. The Bills are favored by, the Beard told me this, and I just can't believe this. The Bills are favored by 9.5. Makes absolutely no sense to me. The over-under is 43.5. Last meeting, the Buccaneers beat the Bills. That was in 2021, though. That was a long time ago, 33-27 in overtime. Last week, the Buccaneers lost to the Falcons 16-13. Like, losing a game like that is just ridiculous. The Bills lost to the Mac Jones and the goddamn Patriots. I still can't believe that.
I cursed him.
Yeah, you talking all that nonsense about Bill Belichick. I want nothing to do with the greatest coach ever. Nothing. Give me Ron Rivera, okay?
I did not say that.
Give me, I was about to say Jay Glazer. What was the dude's name? Jay Gruden.
I knew about it. Listen, do you go back and watch some old Authentic in the Beard? I used to slay Jay Gruden.
Oh, you hated some Jay Gruden. Who was before Jay Gruden? Was it Shanahan?
Yeah, I think so.
Shanahan before Jay Gruden. You don't even know your damn coaches, man.
Listen, it's hard to keep track with coaches and quarterbacks in Washington.
I mean, hey, welcome to my world, okay? We fire them every 2 years in New York. All right, this is the first primetime meeting between these two teams ever. Tampa Bay is 2-0 on the road, but only 1-3 at home. The Bucs are 0-2 since their bye week. We're going to get right to this, get y'all up out of here. Beard, do you think that the Bucs are going to go 0-3 since the bye week and lose this game to the Buffalo Bills? The Bills are coming off 3 ugly games. Let's not forget. They played against New York Giants extremely ugly. The London game was ugly, and then you get this loss to Mac Jones last week. Unacceptable type of performances from the Buffalo Bills. What you got in this game?
It's very Bubba Sparks in Buffalo right now.
Another Bubba Sparks line. I like that. The youngins might not know anything about that.
It's
the white rapper that Timberland signed. He was rapping with pigs in a pig pen in the video. Yeah, they was really capitalizing off that Midwest stuff going on there. That was wild. But what you got for this game?
I just the Bucs are kind of banged up. Baker's a little banged up. Godwin's a little banged up. Mike Evans is the truth.
Facts.
I don't care anything else about this game. I just want people to start putting some damn respect on Mike Evans' name. He never gets mentioned when you talk about top wide receivers in the game.
I don't get it, and I think it's because he's kind of aging possibly. People just thinking he's going to fall off the cliff. But, man, this guy has the record for most 1,000-yard seasons to begin a career. I think it's 10. He's probably going to get another one this year.
Yeah, definitely going to get another one this year. I think Baker Mayfield's played a lot better. I think this team has played a lot better than most people have anticipated. But it's tough to go into Buffalo in a night game, prime time, banged up. I don't think the Tampa Bay has enough to come away with the victory. I do think, though, that there's a possibility that they can put up a good fight, but I think Buffalo pulls away late in this game. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills 27-14.
If the Bills hadn't lost to the Patriots last week, I could maybe find a route for the Bucs in this game because Bucs defense has been playing pretty good. Fourth most takeaways in the league with 12. I think they're only allowing 17.2 points per game. Their offense is really the problem. So I don't know if Baker Mayfield's going to be able to find his way in the end zone. He only has one touchdown in the past couple of weeks here. You talked about Mike Evans. Mike Evans has 13 receptions for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2 games versus the Buffalo Bills. Chris Godwin had 10 catches for 105 yards when they met 2 years ago. I really want to pick the Bucs, but I don't think that the Bills are kind of that team that a lot of people kind of called them to be earlier on this year, like they're going to fall off, not make the playoffs. I saw a lot of Philadelphia Eagles content creators actually saying that earlier this year. I don't believe in that. I think that this is going to be a get-right game for the Bills. We'll see Josh Allen play loose. You know, he was kind of tight in the press conference this past week after the L to the Mac Jones and the Patriots and whatnot. Give me the Bills in this one convincingly.
Dalton Kincaid. Breakout game tonight.
Why? Well, I saw he was on the waiver wire. Somebody in our league cut him from their team.
Jesus. He has a breakout game tonight because I cut him from my team. No, there have no other active tight ends on the roster today except for Dalton Kincaid. Dawson Knox has gone to the IR, and they did not call up any tight ends from the practice squad. So I think Kincaid has a breakout game today.
I like that. 1 or 2 touchdowns.
We're gonna go one touchdown.
1 tutty. I like that.
I almost got close to that 3 touchdown. Who was that the other day? Etienne. Almost got close to that.
That was a good call. That was a good call.
He had 2 in the first half.
Yeah, he had a good game. He definitely had a good game. Deontay Foreman. Yeah, we've been. Make sure y'all pull up to the parlay. We've been doing some things on the parlay. You got to add them. Is it this way? Oh, my man, we up here making these calls, man. I'm telling you, I need to start putting some more money down on these games, man. Now, last week was a bit of an anomaly.
That was
it was kind of brutal. But we're going to get back on track this week. Make sure y'all pull up Sunday, 11 a.m. We're going to be talking about fantasy on the parlay, so pull up. I'm going Bills here convincingly. Give me the Bills 28 to, I was going to say 12, but is that how they really going to get there? They're going to go 4 field goals? Let's go 28-13. Let's up the ante a little bit. Let's go 29-13. Let's go 29-13.
I like it.
Yeah, 29-13, man. So we're going to get y'all up out of here, man. That game is going to be on Amazon Prime tonight. Make sure when you turn the game on, you turn on that Amazon Prime Vision. That is everything for these games. I'm loving that feature. You get to see the All 22 live. I need that on every broadcast. I need that from Fox. I need that from CBS. CBS got, of all the broadcasts, CBS has the most garbage broadcast.
It's like
they're
1990s.
using cameras from the 80s. Yeah, like they're still using graphics and cameras from like the old regime, I feel like. We got to do something, up the ante on that a little bit. But, man, thank you to everybody who pulled up today, rocked out with us, man. This was our first show with me in a new spot. I'm in here just I'm grinding, y'all.
Yeah, shout out to
I'm putting in
Awthentik.
so much work to try to get this done. But y'all know I'm not going to just skip out on streams. We got to do these preview streams, man. And once I get right, things is going to be amazing over here. I can't wait to get this studio all in line. I'd say we're about, I wish y'all could see like what it really looks like.
I can only imagine. I still see milk crates in my mind on everything.
Dog, it's like boxes, cables, lamps, sound foam on it, records. I mean, there is shit everywhere in here, man. But I appreciate all y'all pulling up and rocking out with us. Either way, y'all know what it is over here, man. Any last words to Beer before we send them off?
Nah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who watches across all the platforms. Shout out to everybody who rewatches these when we're not live. It does help the channel a lot. So we appreciate all the comments, all the interactions across all the platforms. But yeah, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue to do this. So much love to y'all, man. Y'all are the true driving force behind roadmaps and nuggets.
It's a big fact. That's a big fact, man. But y'all know what it is, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Rest in peace to the podcast GOAT, Combat Jack. And that's another one, Beard. I think we pushing like 200+ episodes now, man. So salute to my guy over there, man. And y'all keep y'all eyes and ears peeled. We're going to have some new videos, some pre-recorded content coming out as soon as I get this studio set up. Beautiful deck in this house. I'm like, yo, I'm so excited to start recording some new videos, but I just got to get shit right over here. Shit is real chaotic and moving the whole recording studio in a home. And my girl's a thrifter. The Beard can relate. It's some wild times over here right now. I still got to go empty out that storage. Man, I got so much going on. But, yo, I definitely appreciate all y'all pulling up and rocking out with us, man. Y'all enjoy y'all football tonight, man. We'll catch y'all on Sunday on the parlay at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, y'all be good. Peace.